So one of Donald Trump's first supporters back in 2015, 2016 has come out and said Donald Trump may be too fat, too old, and too sick to run for president in 2024. That was Franklin Graham. You know, he's a right-wing evangelical Christian. Billy Graham's son was one of the early backers of Trump and likely one of the reasons Trump could win because he gave Donald Trump some of that evangelical credibility, which he did not have at first. Most of those people were with Ted Cruz, but Trump was able to get a few big evangelicals to back him, like Graham, which likely made him the nominee and therefore president. And I think it's really fascinating that you're starting to see some of these people that back Trump, that are pretty loyal Trumpers, or at least have been, come out and say, I don't know if our dude has the stamina. And look, I don't begrudge people. I don't mock people based on their appearance. That's not something I do. It's not something I want to do. A lot of people have done that to Donald Trump. And I've always tried to resist the urge of making fun of Donald Trump because he's a bit of a heavier gentleman. But I do think it's somewhat ironic that Donald Trump, whose main attack on Joe Biden was that he was unfit for office, that Joe Biden was too old, that Joe Biden was too sick, that Joe Biden couldn't pass a cognitive test, that Joe Biden was basically asleep, he was Sleepy Joe, and that's still the main attack against Joe Biden in a lot of ways from most Republicans. They'll come out and say, oh, Joe Biden's not really president, it's actually Kamala Harris. Or, we don't know who's running the White House because behind the scenes, there's got to be somebody puppeteering Joe because he's too old and he's too demented or whatever to run the actual White House himself. And yet here we have more and more people, including loyal Trump conservatives, say, our dude might just not have the physical health to do it. And I think this might actually be a factor, right? Like, it might actually be a factor. Donald Trump is a few years younger than Joe Biden, but he doesn't really have the same physical conditioning that a Biden or a Bernie Sanders, who are older than him, have. And I wonder if when he gets to the age of Biden and Sanders, which he will be in about 2024, will he be in as good a shape as they were when they were in their late 70s? And I'm skeptical. It's all very fascinating because I wonder if this could be a blessing for Trump in a very weird way. Because if you look at some polling right now, if he was to run against Biden, he would get absolutely stomped. Biden would beat him by almost 20 points, according to new polling released just today. Now, that's very speculative. We're years out, and Donald Trump still is the favorite for 2024 to win the Republican nomination, also according to recent polling. But the fact of the matter is, he just might not have it in him. He might be literally too sick, too old, and too fat to run again. That's according to Billy Graham and so many others. It's going to be interesting because the man that said his opponent didn't have what it takes to run for president beat him, and 4 years from now, Donald Trump may not be able to do the job himself.